and everything seems fine. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Cool. So are you introing or am I?
Now we might as well trade off. This is your turn.
Okay. Joe, you want to know where I went this week?
Absolutely. Where?
I went to the Dreadnought.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I bet you are.
It's been too long. I'm gonna have to go back.
It really has. I missed it. I forgot how much I missed it. Me and Victor have been running around just remembering where our, like, calcified fragments are and stuff.
Did you open a bunch of the hidden chests?
Not yet. We're still working through story stuff, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
we're pretty much at the point now where all we have to do now is, like, wander around all the planets, kill a bunch of Taken, just Taken war things.
Sounds like a good time.
It is. And you played a little bit of D1 with us last week, I think.
Yeah.
What did you think of D1? By the way, we should introduce ourselves. I am Jan or Matt.
And I am Joseph, or How Tall.
Yeah, and you are listening to The Infinite Meme Machine, a Destiny podcast where we talk about Destiny, believe it or not.
I don't believe you.
Well, that's your problem. Anyway, how did you like your little foray back into D1?
I fucking hate using a controller.
After going back to it for however many hours that I've been doing it recently, I'm finally getting used to the controller.
Yeah, I have been playing exclusively with mouse and keyboard for a few years now. With the exception of like platformers and racing games and shit like that, because that stuff just plays better on controllers. And if you disagree with me, fuck you, fight me.
That's aggressive.
Well, I'm an aggressive boy.
That's fair. I'll allow it.
But yeah, controller fucking sucks. I kind of hate it, but no, I mean after spending a few hours with it, I was starting to get kind of used to it again. But man, does it feel slow.
But then once you get used to like the sticks and stuff like that, then the cramping sets in.
Yeah, the cramping is a bitch. But no, It was a ton of fun. Going
I missed
back,
how good scout rifles were.
yeah, going back to Destiny 1 has been playing with it at all has been a bit of a mixed bag. There are a lot of ways in which I definitely prefer Destiny 1. The biggest single reason being primary weapons fucking kick ass in D1
Yeah,
compared to where they're at in D2 right now.
Yeah, hard agree.
But with the exception of a couple things in terms of like how the leveling economy and like having vendors with randomly rolled weapons every week and stuff like that, and fucking Arms Day or whatever it's called with the gunsmith.
Makes it feel like an actual gunsmith.
Yeah, I miss that stuff. But yeah, Destiny 2 is definitely a better game.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like,
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
if there just three things, if there are three things from Destiny 1 that I would bring into Destiny 2, it's primary weapons, which is really just essentially undo the nerf to primaries that they did for Shadowkeep. I would just bring Arms Day exactly as it is, and, well, like I said, randomly rolled vendor weapons. If you could give me those three things, I'd be ecstatic. Though I wouldn't mind trading one of those for factions working the way they did in D1, but that's a whole other thing.
Instead, they said, "Hey, factions, look at the rabbits. Look at the rabbits factions." Or is it flowers? I haven't read that book in forever.
I honestly don't know.
Of Mice and Men?
It's dude. I have not read that book since I was in high school.
Yeah, you're lost.
I mean, maybe.
But yeah. Anyway, we aren't here to talk about D1 totally. We're mostly here to talk about D2, the current game. And Bungie didn't give us a whole lot this week, but what they did give us was pretty juicy.
Did you actually play D2 at all this week?
Yeah, I played a bunch yesterday and today.
Ooh,
grinding
nice.
a bunch of bounty stuff, getting ready for next for the expansion.
Which that bounty stuff we'll touch on that later. But everyone's bounty grinding got kneecapped pretty
Not really.
considerably.
Not really.
Depending on why they were doing it, I would say they got a little bit of a punch to the gut today, but we will get to that later. I did reluctantly more Haunted Forest stuff.
I'm putting that off a little bit.
I'm trying to grind up Bright Dust. I want to get as much as I can, and the one good thing about grinding Bright Dust during this event is all you have to do is grab your 5 bounties, your 5 repeaters, go into a solo version of the Haunted Forest, do all 5, and then just leave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, the turnaround time is pretty low, but when you're getting, like, 10 Bright Dust every bounty, it hurts. It's a really, really shitty.
Is it only 10
grind.
for those? I thought it was 20 for repeatables.
I might be stupid in misremembering, but I thought it was 10.
I mean, there's an equally good chance I am too, so, you know.
Yeah. But, I mean, even if it's 20, it sucks.
Yeah.
Bright Dust acquisition is so fucking broken in this game right now. And it's such a shame. And the thing is, it's like, literally all they would have to do is revert half of the change they made in regards to Eververse items.
Yeah, let them dismantle into Bright Dust.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we haven't gotten the economy update. Spoiler alert for this swab. We haven't gotten the economy update yet, so remains to be seen.
Hopefully next week. Holding on to hope.
Yeah, same here.
Please. I need it.
Anyway, before we get into the TWAB though, there was one thing released that I mean, for you and I, doesn't matter too much, but for anybody who plays on console, this is good news.
Assuming that they have the money to upgrade to the new consoles.
True.
But, I mean, I would say it's good news regardless. Like, Are
we both just waiting for the other one to start reading it?
No, I was absolutely about to. I was just getting ahead of myself. I was going to say, let me actually read what the changes are instead of talking about them before I do.
Do it, coward, you won't.
So, Bungie has given us the breakdown as to exactly how the Destiny 2 will perform on the next-gen consoles. So they have told us that on PS5 and on Xbox Series X, you will be getting full 4K, which isn't really surprising. And the two biggest things, you will be getting 60 FPS. Rejoice.
Yay.
And honestly, this is the biggest one to me. We're getting FOV slider for console players.
Yeah, that's something that people have been asking for forever.
Yeah. So Bungie has said that they have not fully finalized the range of that FOV slider. If they get up to 90, 95 though, which I figure they probably can, then that's fine. Anything past 95, in my opinion at least, is just icing. Like, it's good. I mean, I play on 100, so it's like I like more than 95 would definitely be cool. But getting into that range, I mean,
my question is, why do they offer FOVs lower than the console FOV? Like, why would anyone play with that? Have you tried it?
Yeah,
it's miserable.
Yeah, no, if anyone in here wants to throw up a little bit, load into Destiny 2 on PC. Crank your FOV down all the way and crank your render resolution down to 25, and then play a strike with that and get back to me. Because
Made me sick just thinking about it.
yeah, it'll probably make you want to die. And then of course with the significantly improved hard drives that the next gen consoles will be having, all console players should be able to expect faster load times on the new consoles, and there will be cross-generational play between the new generation of consoles and the current one, which is pretty cool. That way you don't have to leave any of your friends behind just because you happen to have enough money to upgrade your console.
Yep.
And when you buy Beyond Light, you will essentially you're getting upgraded to the next generation of consoles without having to pay anything additional to play on the next generation of consoles.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. It's the kind of thing we've seen other developers do before when it comes to these generational leaps in consoles. It's really great to see Bungie doing it again. I'm pretty sure they did it for before. I don't know. I could be misremembering.
They did 360 and Xbox One or PlayStation.
Oh,
3,
it was just character transfer, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was just save file transfer.
Yeah, because I did that, but I had to rebuy the game when because I started playing Destiny on Xbox 360, and then I upgraded to Xbox One shortly before taking King.
Yeah, I actually did too, and I just straight up didn't remember. But you will be able to get that free upgrade, which is really nice. And for those who may be interested in getting the Series S instead of the Series X, you will see a lower maximum resolution at 1080 as opposed to 4K, but everything else will still be the same. You will still get that silky smooth 60 FPS and FOV slider, which could potentially be different.
And here's the thing, though.
They don't explicitly say it.
How many console players are playing on a 60 hertz or higher monitor or TV that also offers up to 4K? Because those are still not cheap.
Well, so up to 4K, I would say most people wouldn't be, but at 60 FPS, that would be pretty common across the board.
Is it? If
Yeah.
you're playing on a TV, most
Yeah.
TVs I think are still
A
30,
lot,
aren't they?
a lot of TVs.
I haven't bought a TV in years.
Yeah, exactly. See, I haven't either. I just am a loser, and I watch way too much tech content on YouTube.
I watch a bunch of Hoi 4 modded plays throughs, so
but
I'm a nerd in a different way.
yeah, anyone who has bought a TV in the last few years is significantly more likely to be able to actually experience this higher frame rate when they upgrade. So that would be very nice for them. The important things to note about the faster load times, though. So everyone should experience those improved load times in menus. But if you think you will be loading into activities faster, no. You won't.
Especially if you're cross-playing with the previous generation.
Yep. But the activity loading time is, by and large, bound by network constraints. So that isn't really going to change that much. Like, for people that may... you may see some gains, but they're going to be pretty minimal from what Bungie has stated. So it's still going to take you 10 hours to load into the raid. But at least...
But if you and all your... Well, this stuff isn't going to be available to December 8th, so you're going to be dealing with those load times anyway. But after that, as long as you and your friends are all on next gen, it should all load quickly. Like, it should load similarly to PC, because on PC, essentially that's all we wait for, is for people to load the game. Like, networking and stuff is not an issue.
Yeah, I wonder if the warning Bungie gives in regards to that is more just a there because of people who have shit internet.
You know a thing or two about that.
No, I got gigabit. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Dude, same. Gigabit for life.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I mean, there's a lot to love here. Console players make up a very, very large portion of the player base. I think it's really easy for PC players to forget that a lot. So even though these changes don't impact you or I, this stuff is really nice, and especially with how affordable like the Xbox Series S and the digital only edition of the PS5 are, we are going to be seeing a lot of people upgrading this holiday season. So better experience for them. Yay.
I'm waiting for God of War 2, and then I'm upgrading my PlayStation. Xbox can go die.
As long as Microsoft keeps putting all of their exclusives on both PC and Xbox, as a predominantly PC gamer, there's no reason to have an Xbox at all.
I know we're a Destiny podcast, but this is something I've talked at length about on my other show, Pop Culture Unboxing. You can go check it out anywhere podcasts are sold. Xbox is moving toward a game delivery as a service rather than a console market, and it's smart. Like, that's where everything is going.
Yeah, and like Sony's trying to make some of those moves too, but they're still bound to the one line of devices, whereas Microsoft is like, yeah, we own the PC market just completely, so we get to walk in, put our dick on the table, and put our games literally everywhere, and you just have to deal with it. Yeah. So like, depending on how this trend goes, like Microsoft, like Sony kicked Microsoft's ass with this last generation. It's not really arguable about that, but outside of like pressure within the company, Microsoft can kind of play whatever fucking game they want without having to worry as much about what Sony does, because they have more money, more reach, and they can just do whatever the fuck they want. So, yeah. Which is kind of what they're trying to do here. But yeah, anyway, it's all exciting stuff.
Enough of that nerd shit. You want to talk about cool shit?
Like the day one raid?
Joe, we know when the raid is.
I am very excited and very surprised.
I am too. So, in case you are live under a rock and you haven't read the TWAB yet, the raid, the Deepstone Crypt raid, which still does not have a name, by the way, begins Saturday, November 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern. Which is interesting because that is the longest we've ever had between expansion release and the raid.
11 full days.
11 days. Last Wish was on, and then everyone's going to say, oh, Last Wish was a week and a half. No. Last Wish was 10 days because Last Wish came out on a Friday.
Yep. Friday, 1 p.m.
Yep. Well. So, yeah, we have plenty of time to prepare this time around.
Yep.
But that amount of time probably means that a lot of things about how we currently level are probably going to change.
Yeah, which, oh man, I am confident in my ability to get properly leveled in time for the raid, regardless of what changes they make. But especially because of one of the changes we'll get into here in a minute, I'm clenching a little bit. You're definitely gonna have to pray that you do not get completely fucked by RNG in this grind.
But I mean, that those 10 days are going to give you more room to work through that than a 4-day prep.
Very true. Yeah, so I was fully prepared for it to be 4 days.
Yeah, same here. But that's the thing though, is like, it really lends credence to the idea that this raid is going to be on the same level as Last Wish.
Yeah, I think so.
Even with Last Wish, contest wasn't a thing, but it still was brutal.
Yeah,
to the point where only 12 people finished it day one.
It may be from a storytelling perspective similar as well.
You want to hear an anecdote? When Victor and I were talking about triumphs last night, he was looking at Braytech, I think.
Yeah.
And they said 13 people have the triumph for finishing Last Wish in the first 24 hours.
13?
Yes, 13. As in one more than the actual number of people who finished it day one.
That's gotta be an error.
I mean, I don't know.
That's gotta be an error. There's no way that's right.
I
That's
mean,
weird.
it is what it is. Good for that person for
Yeah.
soloing it in the first 24 hours.
So some of this stuff isn't exactly surprising with the info that they've given us. Contest mode will cap all players at 20 below, which is what we expected. The goal to hit to be at max power for all encounters is going to be 1230. Again, that's not really surprising. They haven't explicitly said yet, I don't believe, but I think we can all expect the soft cap to be 1200, the hard cap to be 1250, and the pinnacle to be 1260.
Yep, that sounds right to me.
So 1230 is where you're going to want to be before going into the raid. But the biggest piece of news from all of this, I think, well, second biggest because the date and time's the biggest, is artifact power bonus will be disabled during the first 24 hours. Which,
So now it's just a grind to get equipment and levels, and not to get as much XP as humanly possible.
I gotta say, I did not see that coming at all.
We should have, though. I didn't either, but we definitely should have. That they could, since in Trials and Iron Banner, they can disable it. Why wouldn't they do it here?
Well, so the way I looked at the artifact, since it came in Shadowkeep, was essentially it is a way to get around having shitty RNG.
Yeah.
It is a balancer to your ability to gain light level up to a certain extent, because obviously, the gains come slower the more XP you get.
Yeah.
But Bungie doesn't care, and they want to go with the old school leveling experience for the raid, which is fine.
Here's my question too: is what if this is done like the almost 2 weeks, and the between contest and artifact power being disabled? The idea is that everyone's going to be rolling into this raid at 12:30, and then at that point it's just contest mode, making sure that it's still difficult, but then it's a pure test of skill rather than who has the most time to sink into this.
But I mean, the thing is, the artifacts being enabled or disabled doesn't change that, though. Contest mode is what dictates that would be how it is. So the way I look at it is, if the leveling experience is similar to what it is now when we go into Beyond Light, then it should not be hard for anyone who has the time to invest on multiple characters to get to 1230.
Here's the thing: as long as you have enough tokens, you just keep turning them in, so you hit soft cap.
Yeah,
And then you're just trying to get that 30 light, which is pretty easy with 3 characters.
See, so the thing is, like, so just to be completely real about this, the people who don't have the time to be able to get around not having artifact power are not the people who would potentially get world's first.
That's a good point.
Which is may suck for some people to hear, but it's true. Now, I think there's a valid argument as to whether or not that matters in terms of, like, who should have better access to the raid on day one. But the thing is, like, if you want to go into the raid at, under-leveled, you're going to be able to do that regardless of whether or not contest mode is enabled. Contest mode exists specifically for the race and for no other reason. It is a way for Bungie to balance a set difficulty for that day one experience. That way everyone's on the same playing field, and the only people it should really be relevant to are the people who genuinely have a chance to achieve world's first.
Yeah.
So the accessibility argument, at least in my opinion, in terms of it, just doesn't really matter here. But it's still, like, if the leveling experience is significantly diminished, so Like, let's say the leveling experience is similar to what it was during Last Wish.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, there's a lot to find out. I'd have to imagine that we're going to be
Well,
losing all of the powerful drops from Shadowkeep related content.
probably.
But as long as there is equivalent content in Beyond Light, then that shouldn't be much of a loss. I think we can expect that
Well, and
powerful.
you know what? Yeah, with Forsaken, didn't have nearly as many powerful sources either.
Yeah,
It was
and
pretty
the
much
grind
just
was similar then, or
Yeah.
like the gap was similar then.
it was identical. It was 200 light.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be doable as long if the grinding experience is similar to that of Forsaken, it's going to be really hard. Even for a lot of the skilled teams, it's going to be hard. And you're going to be dependent on RNG to a pretty significant extent. Right now, probably the only piece of advice that can be given in regards to how you should, or like the most significant piece of advice that we can say for sure that people would want going into next season without knowing what all the economy changes are going to be yet, are that you need tokens. You need
Yes.
gunsmith materials. You need ways to churn armor from vendors to get you to the soft cap.
Yep.
And we just pray that that's not being significantly changed next season.
And it might,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if it does, that right there is going to be a blow.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Artifact power being disabled, if there are significant changes to that, which would further prevent your ability to just grind loot. Like, we could find ourselves in situations where like we could be speed running strikes from the fucking director. Like, we could be doing Lake of Shadows for 10 hours straight just to hit the chest over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, just to get to the soft cap. And I mean, it's not going to take 10 hours to get to the soft cap. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. But, yeah, this is going to be fucking hard if the leveling experience is harder.
Yeah, and so the 11 days is probably going to be pretty appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, because, let's see. So, we're losing one drop for sure from Gambit. Since right now you get 2 powerful drops from Gambit. That's going to be going down to 1.
Wait, huh?
You get 2 powerful drops from the separate Gambit playlists.
Are they? I don't think they're separate.
No, they're separate.
Are they really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? But yeah, they're separate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is I was already really anxious to get to the economy TWAB, but now I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if it is harder, I'm excited. I mean, like,
me too, for sure.
Like, for me, the grind for Forsaken was my first like day 1 attempt grind.
Yeah.
And it was to say I did poorly would be a little bit of an understatement.
Oh, I chatted out on that.
I was quite inexperienced at power leveling back then. I have since grown. I have leveled up. And the idea of having another go at leveling similar to that is really exciting.
Oh,
but
yeah.
even if it's easier, like, just the idea of knowing right now that I'm going to have to grind my ass off and that I can't rely on the artifact as a backup. Because, so, for anyone who didn't grind out at the beginning of Shadowkeep, artifact power for day 1 in Shadowkeep, I was done after 2 days. Like, but in the middle of the second day of grinding, to power level for Garden of Salvation, I was done. And it was because I was already at like +8 on the artifact, and I didn't have to worry about drops anymore. Like, it was just that easy. The artifact completely trivialized that grind.
And I think that's what they want to try to avoid here.
Yeah, exactly. Which is it's exciting.
The expansion power leveling is like, I look forward to it almost as much as the raid itself. Like, I love it.
Yeah, it is part of that experience.
Yeah, for sure. So like, and now you have time. Like, you know, if you're working a normal job, you got a whole weekend to throw at it, and all your evenings. Or if you can take time off, you know, you can take time off around when the expansion releases, and then for the couple of days leading up to the raid, and then in between, you just take all that time in your evenings and stuff, and you just go at it.
Yeah, and honestly, if so for someone who I think someone who's working a 40-hour-a-week job but doesn't necessarily have a ton of responsibilities outside of that, or has the ability to ignore those responsibilities for a week and a half, if the leveling experience is similar to what it is now, that person should be able to hit 1230.
Hopefully.
Which I think that's a reasonable mark.
If it's like Forsaken, you had to level all 10 days, all day long, just to get to the raid level.
If it's Forsaken, players like that are freaking boned. Like, I'm waiting to see how. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough that I don't have to take my time off way in advance, so I can wait to see what the economy changes are going to be like. That, and I don't mind getting 4 hours of sleep a night for a week and a half, so I can play the game for 10 hours a day.
Just remember to get your sleep before the raid day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Gotta wait and see. There are a couple other notes in regards to the day 1 raid that I think are kind of important.
Yeah.
So, Bungie has explicitly stated that they will not be announcing the winner as soon as someone gets their first completion.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, anyone out there who was potentially thinking about cheating their way to World's First, fuck you. Fuck you.
Agree. Ditto.
And fuck you, because you can't anymore. So Bungie has said that any World's First attempts will have to go through additional verification. So they are going to be analyzing everyone's data on their end to make sure that no shenanigans are happening, which is
Hey, wait. These
exciting.
guys just finished, but they did nothing but fire heavy ammo constantly for the entire raid. That doesn't seem right.
Why did they suddenly gain 70 sword ammo out of thin air?
Wait, how did they resurrect 80 times without ever wiping?
Yeah. So this is good. The cheating concern, there have been a lot of people talking about concerns in regards to cheating going into Beyond Light, and Bungie's taking it seriously as well, which is really good to see. The fact that we shouldn't have to, like, the fact that it seems like we shouldn't have to worry at all about the team that finishes first being disgenuine is great.
Let's be honest, it's probably going to be Redeem.
I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that I was gonna as excited as I am, and I mean I'm expecting to get a day 1 completion of this raid, which is honestly more bluster and me pumping myself up than anything. I think if you're going into a day 1 attempt, you have to approach it with the confidence that you could get World's First, at least in my opinion.
I agree.
But if I'm being realistic, I'm not fucking getting world's first.
Coward.
So, well, yeah, a little
You gotta
bit.
dream bigger. Have delusions of grandeur. Don't be afraid.
But I'm holding out hope that Dado can finally get it. If I'm being honest.
Oh, all right. Yeah, fair.
Oh man, he's fucking earned it at this point, man.
I mean, counterpoint though, I think 2402 did more for his brand than getting world's first would have.
Oh yeah, good on him for owning that.
I mean, yeah, smart play.
Yeah, I mean you kind of have to,
But
right?
you know what,
either
Joe?
Own it or it dominates
Here's
you.
the thing, Joe.
Yeah,
Even if you don't get world's first, you still get an emblem for doing it day one.
yeah, exactly. So we have now seen what the day one emblem looks like, and it's pretty sexy. I like
Yeah.
it.
Still tells us nothing about the raid.
Yep. And if there is one thing I'm disappointed by with this TWAB, is there is something that we do not get to see, but they do talk about, which is that if you are interested in whatever the presumably sexy raid jacket is going to be, you will have to finish the raid by December 1st at 9 a.m.
Pacific.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific, to be able to get the jacket. I have purchased the last two raid jackets, and they are fucking hot. And I fully expect to love the new one, but god damn, I really wish we could see it.
Yeah, here's my issue. If they say it's Europa ready, which means it's probably really thick, and if it's as big as the Scourge one, I don't know if it'll be for me. The Scourge one is thick. I've never seen anyone wearing a coat that thick in the last decade.
The last two raid jackets, the garden one and the
Crown.
oh my god, crown. Just completely forgot the name of that fucking raid. Those two jackets are pretty toasty.
Like good looking or warm?
Yes.
Yeah, I have the crown one, but I have never worn it.
Yeah, it's pretty cozy. I mean, the thing, like, I don't wear jackets, because I get hot enough as is. I don't need a fucking jacket to make it worse. But yeah, sometimes I can't help it. Like, those jackets just look so good that you just gotta wear them sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather have a raid hoodie, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. Like I may not dig jackets, but I'm all for a hoodie, especially if it's a zip up one. Like I'm a slut for light zip up hoodies.
But not like the Bastion one, which was less of a hoodie and more like a second health bar for your shirt.
Oh. But yeah, that's plenty of time. It's what, 2 weeks, just like it was last time.
For
get
the
the
raid
jacket?
jacket?
Yeah.
I forget what it was for.
I think it was 2 weeks last time.
Was it? Because I know
Yeah,
for
'cause-
Scourge and I think Crown, it was weekend. Getting it done that week.
Yeah, they specifically changed it for this one. For
Which I guess this is
Garden.
about a week. Yeah, it is, because November 30th would be the last day. Because that's a week after the raid comes out, so it's about a week anyway.
week and a half. Huh.
No, it is. It's 8 days. 7.5 days.
Oh, that's right. I was counting it from. I was looking at the wrong calendar.
Idiot. Read a book sometime.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm fucking stupid.
But yeah, so a lot of exciting news about the raid. And that's about all they gave us in the TWAB.
I mean, there is one bit of sad news.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Just speed running through the rest of it. Festival of the Lost, they've updated the... I believe we talked about it when they updated the drop rate, but since then they also changed it so that you get 2 cipher decoders anytime one drops, which
Yep.
has been helping a lot. I feel like the drop rates feel good for me now.
Yeah. Like I'm glad the drop rates are high. Honestly, I thought after the first change they were pretty good.
Yeah. No, they're really good now.
Yeah.
Especially for people that don't have a lot of time to put into it like me right now.
Yeah, that's I mean, like as much as I'm all for uh people who are able to commit time being able to get more things than the people who can't. For an event like this, let's just get everybody everything.
Exactly. So if you got your first, if you unlock the Triumph to unlock 15 caches, make sure you go to the Bunch of Rewards page so you can unlock a code for the ghost pin and to get the emblem. And finally, if you, or not finally, but almost finally, if you like art, go check out the TWAB because there's some pretty cool art in there, and they also offer it on their store, and it looks dope. And there's even a little biography from each of the artists.
The that Nokris shirt, it's pretty fucking cool.
I was gonna comment on the painting above it of the Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. Looks so cool.
Yeah. Also the Darkblade one.
Yeah. All three of them are dope.
They're yeah. These artists are their work is just it's amazing. Like I'm not pumping it up at all. Like this shit genuinely looks fucking good.
Yeah, it really does. It's how are people this good at this? Makes me angry.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Also, I think why I like the Guardian one the most is because it vaguely reminds me of the Three Wolves shirt. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. It's like one of the most infamous shirts of all time. Joe, do you want to deliver the sad news?
So, we are unfortunately losing our beloved Deej. This is his final TWAB, which is this is a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been around forever.
Yeah.
9 years almost to the day of when he's leaving, which is November 6th, 2020.
Yeah, the community managers for Destiny don't get enough love. They take more shit than pretty much anybody else at Bungie.
Yeah, if you think DTG is bad, the Destiny the Game subreddit, you haven't gone to their forums.
Oh my god. Oh, it hurts.
It's like comparing all of Reddit to the YouTube comment section. It's bad.
Spending seconds there loses you precious brain cells, dude. I swear.
Yeah, but yeah,
it is a cesspit.
So if you listen to this, make sure you go on Twitter or something and tell Deej to rest in peace and you know all of that stuff.
Tell him to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, tell him to come here and and if he listens to this, we'll give him a heartfelt message in the next one. If I was him though, and I guarantee he's doing this, absolutely take like whatever job he's taking after this. He definitely told him like, "Oh, I can't start until December." By the way, that's what I would do.
I mean, you would hope that he gets a break, though. I mean, he doesn't say anything about where he's going after, but I'm just going to assume that it is a nice opportunity.
Probably.
And I guess we'll see.
I mean, my general thing is that when people leave companies, they die. So I think he's just going to heaven. So rest in peace, Deej. We'll miss you. Yeah. But that about wraps up everything I think we had. Thank you for listening to it. Thank you for listening to the TWAB audiobook.
This week was a bit more twabby, but
a little bit, yeah.
Sometimes that's okay.
It is. And we want to thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you share it with your friends. Let them know because word of mouth is huge for podcasts like this. Small ones, that is. And if you want to see more of us, you can follow us on Twitter at Meme Machine Cast. And you can follow me at MattRossVO. And also on Twitch and YouTube, you can watch me at Jan Jinkle.
You've been streaming some of that D1 that you've been playing. Yeah?
I have, in fact, yeah. I've been streaming a good bit of it.
That was a good time.
So, well, go ahead and do your outro, and then I'll give you a little anecdote about that.
So, if anyone is interested in hearing my stupid voice anywhere else, you can follow me on Twitch at How Tall It Would, And if you would like to see me retweet stupid, silly memes and whatever bullshit I feel like, you can follow me on Twitter, also at How Tall It Would.
So I streamed a bunch of that Destiny, and I was getting ready to cut it into YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I discovered that all like 10 hours of the stuff I had streamed was unable to be used because the game audio was significantly louder than anybody talking.
It's
or
a
anyone I
rookie
was playing with.
mistake. Rookie mistake.
Yep. So I have a new mic now, so it's louder. So I hope it alleviates all the audio fuckery I've had to do. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
What were you about to say? Say it.
No, I'm good.
Okay, bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you.
That was to them, not you, just to be clear.
What the fuck do you think I was doing?
Just making sure.
Fuck you.